live was only 14 minutes, but enough to keep the world quiet. No one expected that the live broadcast on Weverse that evening lasted only 14 minutes. But those 14 minutes, for anyone watching them, were like time-stopping, holding their breath alongside one name: Jungkook. Not because of the comeback announcement, not because of the new song teaser, not because of the explosive performance. Because of honesty. Because of tears. Because the wound that has been hidden behind the smile of a magne who always looks the most powerful. It starts simple. Jungkook appeared on the screen in a black hoodie, slightly disheveled hair, sitting in a corner of the room lit only by a small table lamp. No background music. No visual effects. Only the sound of his breathing sounded a little heavy, and the look in his eyes was more mournful than usual. I just want to talk," he said slowly. Not for long, really. ARMY, who went into the broadcast, thought this was just a regular short live, as he often does. But in just 2 minutes, the mood changed. Jungkook was silent. Old. Get down. And when he looked up again, his eyes were already wet. "Sometimes I get tired," he said. "But I'm afraid to say that I'm tired. Because I know you're all waiting for me to be happy." He's not angry. Not blaming anyone. It's just honest. For the first time, unfiltered, unscripted, and defenseless. When you say I'm strong, I'm happy. But also sad. Because I wasn't always strong. I've fallen too. Ever felt alone. Never even thought of stopping. ARMY in the comments immediately flooded with words of encouragement, but Jungkook only nodded slowly, as if to say, "I know. But let me talk to you first," he continued, his voice beginning to tremble. Jimin knows all about this. He used to come quietly to my dorm when I didn't want to leave the room. He always knows when I need someone, even when I don't. I'm grateful for having him. In the 9th minute, Jungkook grabbed something from behind his small table, a small note, shabby, looks like it has been opened and closed many times. He read a line from there. "The 5th day I didn't feel good enough." But on the 5th day, I also heard Jimin knocking on the door. Maybe the world wants me to stay. After that live broadcast ended, the world didn't just stand still, it shook. ARMY around the world, from Seoul to Sao Paulo, from Jakarta to Johannesburg, realizing that they've just witnessed something far more important than a song teaser or a comeback countdown. They witnessed an artist's heart open, fragile, and real. On social media, fans not only shared snippets of Jungkook's live video, but also created empathetic discussion spaces. Many say they feel the same way, that sometimes they get tired of pretending to be strong. And if Jungkook, the star who looks perfect on stage, can admit his weaknesses, then they too have the right to feel tired without feeling guilty. Some fans even revealed their personal stories, how BTS songs, especially Jungkook's voice, became solace in the darkest times of their lives. Some said, "I used to be close to giving up, but Jungkook's voice in Euphoria saved me." Another wrote, "He doesn't know how big it is. Now I hope he knows too. We want to save him, just as he saved us." Fans from various fandoms also came to support, proving that empathy and humanity go far beyond the limits of fandom. A few hours after the live, Jimin did not immediately make a statement. It does not appear on social media. But the fans were observant that his last post in Instagram stories, a picture of the night sky with one word, "breathe," posted exactly 2 minutes after Jungkook's live ended. Some ARMY sure, Jimin watched the whole live. And quietly, he felt the same pain. But as always, he remained a silent anchor for Jungkook, giving a gentle but meaningful signal, "I exist." The next morning, in a post on Weverse, Jimin wrote, "When one chooses to be honest, the world must learn to listen without judgment. Thank you for loving her for who she is. And please, continue to love him, even when he's not perfect." The sentence appeared only a few hours, then it was deleted. But quite a lot of ARMY who had time to catch it and redistribute it with full of emotion. Even some Korean celebrities responded, giving Jungkook an open message of support, not as a star, but as a young man who has dared to open a wound in front of the world. Meanwhile, the HYB itself has not yet given an official statement, but many believe they are discussing internally how to support Jungkook more humanely going forward. Some fans also asked HYB to give BTS members more time to rest or provide a special psychological space for their artists who are often pressured by public expectations. In a short time, just because of 14 minutes of broadcast, things changed. It's not just the public perception of Jungkook, it's also about what it means to be strong. And the most beautiful thing is how the ARMY world again shows who they really are, a global community that not only loves music, but truly cares about the people behind it. They show that fandom is not only about fanaticism, but also about humanity. In the end, no one knows for sure how Jungkook felt after closing that live. But one thing is certain, he is not alone. And that night, through a heartwarming honesty, it binds millions of hearts that may be secretly also being hurt, because sometimes we just need someone who says, I get it. And that night, Jungkook wasn't just heard, he was embraced by the world. After that night, the world didn't really sleep. The 14-minute broadcast of what should have been a fleeting moment grew into a wave of collective feelings. BTS fans, especially those who have been following Jungkook's journey since he was a teenager, feeling as if they have just witnessed an important chapter in the life of someone they care about, like family. One story after another was shared. ARMY wrote about how Jungkook's words reflected the voice in their hearts that never dared to come out. Others said they felt more connected to Jungkook than his fame, but for his courage to open wounds without a mask. But the most surprising thing came from Jimin. In an upload on Weverse that night, one short sentence, barely noticeable because it was deleted in just a few minutes, Jimin wrote, "Don't think you have to hide everything for our sake." The sentence was interpreted by many as a form of deep affection from Jimin to Jungkook. Fans believe that the sentence was addressed not only to Jungkook, but also to every ARMY who watched the live and felt that they were also always pretending to be strong. The next day, the other BTS members still haven't appeared in public, but people who were once close to them began to speak out. One of the producers who had worked with Jungkook uploaded on his Instagram story an old photo of them in the studio, with the caption, "This kid never stopped fighting. I wish the world could give him room to breathe." Meanwhile, in South Korea, many media outlets began to report the live as an idol's moment of honesty. Although there were some cynical comments from netizens who did not fully understand the struggle of idols, most people actually showed incredible empathy. Interestingly, after 2 days without news, Jimin and Jungkook were finally caught on camera together at Incheon International Airport. They did not say a word to reporters, but their presence together, walking hand in hand, was the most powerful answer to all concerns. Jungkook is not alone. Jimin stayed by her side. As always, there was one little moment that was caught on camera and went viral in a matter of hours. As he was about to go up the escalator, Jungkook was seen looking down, putting both of his hands in his hoodie pockets. But Jimin, without saying anything, put his hands on his back, as if to say, "I'm here." The video was only 5 seconds long, but became one of the most shared footage across social media platforms. He said, "The hand that holds a broken heart." In the days that followed, the mood of BTS's fandom changed. Not only full of love, but also full of reflection. Many fans have written open digital letters to Jungkook saying it's okay to feel tired, it's okay to cry, and it's okay to pause. In fact, they started campaigning for the Take Your Time, Jungkook movement as a form of full support for his recovery, both mentally and physically. Meanwhile, Weverse was filled with fan-made artwork, poetry, and music, all inspired by Jungkook's bravery in live that night. One of the most touching pictures is a simple illustration, a boy standing alone on a dark stage, but all around him, thousands of cell phone lights shone towards him. Below it is written, "You don't have to shine alone." The message was later chosen by many fans as a kind of watchword for Jungkook's future, that he may stop shining if he is tired, because his light has illuminated millions of people, and now it is the turn of those who will take care of his light. Not a single song was played that night. There is no comeback teaser, no promotion. However, that night was more meaningful than any comeback ever. For the first time, the world saw Jungkook not just as a star, but as a human being.